Today we have David Hill, who's going to teach you to turn your no's into yeses with word tracks. A little bit about David. David is a top sales coach and trainer. He is a Grant Cardone trainer. He's a former MAPS coach. He is a former team leader. He has over 39 years of experience. He has a business called Path to Mastery and one of the top real estate podcasts with a lot of really amazing guest speakers. David has helped thousands and thousands of salespeople. He is, hold on one second, let them in. He's a master sales coach. He's an author, podcast host, and realtor of the 10X Elite Coach and Mentorship. David also is a fellow Ironman triathlete. He and I had a really good interview, which you guys will have to watch. He's also a boxer. So, David, welcome so much. We appreciate you being here. Honored to have you, and great to learn from the script master.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, man, that's a lot of stuff you just said about me. That's it's cool. Thank you for saying that. I'll tell you the one thing I'm just most importantly, I'm a father of 3 daughters, a husband. I do have a dog son. That's my only son, happens to be a little Chihuahua dog. And, you know, I pride myself on being a good dad because I didn't have a good dad growing up. So it's nice that I get to be a good dad. So other than that,
David is also a Christian leader and proud to share that with the world.
Amen, my friend. And yes, I am also a 10X certified coach trainer. And yeah, so I mean, listen, it's your time. I'm not, you tell me how I can best serve you guys, and I'll just go with the flow, which is what I do with my clients. Same thing. And you know, I don't know. How do you want this to go, Tanya? You tell me.
Well, I mean, we talked about turning your no's into yeses. So, David, you have a membership where you help people do scripts and prospecting and helps them basically get over buyer objections. So I think where we actually could start, I think where everybody would love to start, is let's go over the 5 biggest objections that buyers and sellers are having right now and how to turn those no's into yeses.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if you guys want to share, I mean, I use a framework that I teach, and it's just 5 strategies. You guys can write this down. The first one is your greeting. Your greeting has to be tight. It has to put people at ease. Like if you are able to put people at ease with your greeting, you're going to get a lot further with people. The second one is going to be fact finding, you know, or pre-qualification. You can call it either one. Where once you can put someone at ease, then you can ask questions, and if they feel comfortable with you, they will give you the answers and the solutions to solve their problems and turn those no's into yeses. The third one is going to be your demonstration. So your demonstration simply just solves the problems that came up in fact finding. So if someone tells you they had a bad experience with a realtor, well, then that's what your whole demonstration should be focused around. Helping them feel comfortable working with a realtor again because of their bad experience in the past, not telling them about virtual tours and Matterport and, you know, other, you know, stuff that doesn't matter to them, right? Or pictures or whatever, open houses. Help people solve the problems that they have in their minds. So then the 4th step is closing. You gotta have a strong closing. You gotta know how to close, when to close. You know, that's another way to turn those no's into yeses, is have a good closing where it makes sense. Have you heard enough information to make a decision? That's it. Are you ready to put me to work? Like when the times come right, then they answer yes or no. And if they answer no, then you ask more questions, and then finally follow up. Because no matter how good we are, then we have to follow up. So in follow-up shows up in all the different areas of the sales cycle. So I just gave you the 5 steps of the sales cycle. When you master that, you will master everything. And the nice thing about this sales cycle is you don't have to be super charismatic. You don't have to be one of those guys that's, this wordsmith type trickery words. You just follow the cycle and the process and put people at ease, ask good questions, use the questions to solve their problems in your demo and close. And you can, and that's why I love this framework so much. It's from Grant Cardone, because anybody can use it. Anybody. I know guys that are really, really charismatic and good on the phones, and they try to teach what they do. And they can't teach that to certain people because they don't have the same personality, they don't have the same energy, right? So I think the one thing I like about this is anybody can do it. It's easy. So before we jump into those objections, I'm going to ask you all, and by the way, why do we have so many people without their cameras on? Let's get your cameras on. How will you guys feel if I'm talking to you like this?
Yes, I always tell them, I'm like, we need to be engaged. We have these speakers.
Yeah, this
need
is
your cameras on.
This is actually real life, not TV. I don't know if Tanya told you this, but I'm actually here. So that means we engage back and forth. TV, you just sit and watch, right?
Yeah.
That's TV. You watch. And I wouldn't watch much TV, by the way. I'm just giving you, that's a little bonus for you, okay? If you spend more time watching TV than you do practicing your scripts and practicing your business, then yeah, that shows up usually in your paychecks. So
we don't
okay,
care
so
what you guys look like. I always tell you, when you come on to these things, put some sunglasses on if you have to. Throw a hat on. It doesn't matter what you look like. If you're not at work or, with clients or something, then, oh, she's sitting in a robe, maybe.
Okay. All right. So you'll get a pass then. That's fine. All right. Listen, do your best to put it on. It's up to you. If you don't, I'm still going to sleep well tonight, but it's nice to see you guys. So here's what I want, and this is why I want you, because I want you to make a fist, right? I want everybody to, even if I can't see you, I want you to make a fist like this and hold it up to your camera. Everybody do that I can see. I can see, come on, I can see you. The other ones I can't see, and I'm assuming you're doing it. I want you to hold your fist out. There we go. Someone else went. All right, good. Now, hold it like this. Tighten it up nice. Like, I want you to squeeze it tight and nice. And just hold that bad boy, right? How does that feel? Like, it probably feels uncomfortable, right? You're like, oh man, this is not even comfortable. Keep holding it. Don't put it down. I didn't say put it down. All right. So if I now went to hand you a check for $10,000, could you grab that check with this hand?
Nope.
No. Well, somebody, see, I see Pepper, P-R-I-N-P. She opened her hand. So I could grab it because she opened. But if you keep your hand closed, you cannot grab it. Okay. Now you guys can let go now. Sorry. Let go. Oh, how's that feel? Does that feel good to just like let that pressure go? Like, oh man, that's awesome. Like, doesn't it feel better? If it feels better, raise your hand, do something, say, ah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now hold your hand out like this. Now, if I'm going to hand you that save $10,000, can you take it? Of course you can. It's because you're there for it. Now you're open to it. So I'm going to challenge you. We all come in here with biases, including myself. Everybody has our own biases. Well, I don't like the way that sounds, or that wouldn't work for me, or whatever we say. I am going to challenge you for the next 45 minutes or 40 minutes, whatever it is, to let those biases go and just be open-minded and say, hey, you know what? Maybe there is another way. Maybe just because something doesn't work for me doesn't mean it doesn't work for the whole planet. We have to remove those biases. This is something I had to deal with myself years ago. I always thought certain ways, well, that made me feel a certain way, so that made everybody feel a certain way. And then I realized that there's a lot of people that think different than me. And then there were things that I watched other people do, and I was like, wow, that actually worked. So then I tried it a few times. I'm like, holy cow, that worked. And then it made me think different about it. So I'm going to challenge you. So if you're open to that, put in the chat, put a yes, just put a Y in the chat. I want to see some Ys if you're open to letting your biases go for the next 40 minutes. And then here's the good news. In 40 minutes now, you can take them back. You could take your biases back if you want. How's that sound?
Yes.
And some of you all are just very serious today. All right. Anyway, okay. So Tanya, let's talk about those objections now. What are the 5 most common objections we're dealing with now?
All right, so I'm going to give you a couple, and I'd like you guys to put them in the comment box in the comments. One is interest rates are too high. I'm gonna wait.
Oh, I love that one.
By
That's
the
a good
way,
one.
real quickly, if you guys are not on your cell phones, you guys might want to hit your recording on this so you guys can hear him, right? And then repeat it back. So you know what, David? I'm gonna hold off. Interest rates are high. I'm gonna time the market.
Yeah, absolutely. So before I get into a model that I have for this, I want first to you guys to understand that the objection is probably not that interest rates are too high. Like the real objection is not that. That's just what they're saying. So this is the fact finding that I talked about earlier. Right, this is the step. I want you guys to always realize what step or phase you are in the process. Okay, so this would be either fact finding or it could be the close too. Right, you could have someone in your office and this is the first time they're telling you. So this could be in the close. Okay, so Tanya, so you said so let me just ask you the question, Tanya. Have you heard enough information to make a decision?
I mean, you showed me a lot of great houses. Sounds exciting, but I'm gonna wait for the interest rates to drop.
Okay, got it. So I'm gonna write this down, Tanya. You want to wait till the interest rates will drop. So tell me more about that.
Well, I mean, I'm reading all the news is saying that the interest rates are going to go up. So I just want to make sure that I'm not, that I can afford my payment, one, and that I'm just going to wait. Like I just want to wait.
Okay, fair enough. Listen, I get it. What else?
That's it. Interest rates. It's interest rates. I'm watching the news every day. They're saying it's a bad time to buy. We're going into a recession. Like, why would I buy right now?
Yeah, got it. Tell me more about that.
I mean, who would be crazy to buy right now? Like, I need it to drop. Like, let's talk. Thing is the interest rates are like, 5, 6, 7, depending on the day. But, I'd like it to get down to the 3s where it was. And so I can afford to buy. Yeah,
the 3s were definitely an interesting time. That's for sure. I've been doing this 20 years. I've never seen those 3s. I don't think that's ever happened before in history. But I just want to say, I want to thank you for sharing that with me. And tell me everything right now.
You want to know my deep, darkest secrets, or I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, fair enough. I want to know everything about what you said. You said that the news, you're watching the news and it's saying you shouldn't buy. You mentioned the payment was not affordable. You think interest rates were going to go up. So just tell me everything about what you've shared so far about this process.
Of course, I'm thinking about the market crash, right? Where everybody overpaid for houses, they lost their homes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be one of those. Like, I would rather rent and buy when the time is great.
Listen, I get it 100%. You're right. I agree with you. To be honest, I feel the exact same way. What other concerns do you have?
Paying a high interest rate for a house I don't really want, and I'm just concerned about buying a house when there's not a lot of inventory out. So waiting for me is not just having the interest rates go down, but there's not a lot of inventory. So I kind of want to wait until people start selling more homes. So inventory goes up, rates go down. That would be the perfect situation for me, David.
Yeah, that would
but
be
we can, why don't you just give me a call back when you think that time is right?
Yeah, I unfortunately I don't have a crystal ball, but I'd love to. I will absolutely do that. So let me ask you this: what else bothers you about the process right now?
Well, I feel like this is like your 100 questions. I thought I just answered all that.
Yeah, well, I want to see if I can help you here. That's my goal. So in order for me to help you, I really need to understand what the real objections. So I'm writing down everything you said. So you mentioned the payment was not affordable. You didn't want to lose the house, paying high interest rates. So is there anything else besides those things?
Not really.
Come on, there's got to be something else.
I mean, I got my husband also saying it's not a good time to buy either, He's
Got
like,
it.
wants to, make a good financial decision.
Got it.
And
Okay.
if we're both not on board, then we ain't on board.
Yeah,
Unless I want
amen.
to get divorced.
So it sounds like this now is, I mean, it sounds like we need to get your husband involved in this conversation as well. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, but he's already checked out.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So let me ask you this then. If I could solve the problem of the interest rates and making the payment affordable, would there be anything else besides that? If we could solve that one problem, like get the payments down a bit and make this affordable for you. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to stop there because there would be. And I'll tell you what it is. The husband's not here with us. Okay. We've got, 10 things on the table to deal with. Right. So I want to share with you now the process. So this is just simply in fact finding or closing. This would come up with somebody and people might say, oh my gosh, what's with all the questions? And that's fine because no one thing kills the deal. So I'm going to ask the questions that I choose to ask. And if they don't want to give me the answers, then I will choose not to work with them. And that's fine because no one thing kills the deal. I'm not at anybody's beck and call. If they don't want to buy a house because you weren't going to buy the house anyway. So by me asking you a couple more questions isn't going to make any difference in the world. So I'm going to do my job and I'm going to get as much information as I can. And did I seem like I was being super pushy when you gave me some resistance?
No, I mean, I think you were being persistent. Like you were,
yeah.
I was uncomfortable.
Sure. And it could be. And here's the other issue now. We're sitting without your husband. That's a decision maker. So this should have come up in the fact finding that if we're going to meet with somebody and have this conversation, it's critical both decision makers are in front of us. Otherwise, they can't make a decision anyway. So we're wasting our time.
Okay, so all decision makers need to be present, you guys. And this is where yesterday with Jim doing the listing survey, is there anybody else involved in this decision before you show up?
Yeah, 100%. And there was so much here, you even mentioned, I don't want to lose the house. So there was something there. Like maybe, I don't know, did you go through a foreclosure in the past? You were closed off, was a little bit resistant. You talked about the payment being not affordable, interest rates, all this other stuff. So the reality is, no matter what I asked you, you weren't closing today. So I guess the question would be, why were you even sitting in front of me? And I know for
because
here, but in real life.
Yep. Keep going.
No, in real life, if I do my job right, I'm going to know, just like you said earlier, if I'm meeting with somebody, and in my opinion, that was a meeting. Like, I don't, you could go through some of that on the phone and but I want to know that I'm talking to all the decision makers. So everybody that's going to be involved in the decision. So at the end, when your husband thing came up, that's a dead deal. We're talking to a dead deal unless we can somehow get the husband involved in the conversation.
Okay. What is your objection like with interest rate? Like if you were to say this is, interest rates are too high. So you went in and kept asking questions, which is great because that's what we need to do, right? I love what you said when you went back and said, okay, let's talk about the interest rates. If I could actually get you a better interest rate, get your payment down, I forgot exactly what you said. Would that help you?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. You have to figure out what the real issue is first. So if you look at the framework I described earlier, the demo would solve the problems that came up in fact finding, right? So in our fact finding, you had affordability. Well, see, we didn't really have any one thing. We had the husband was thrown in at the end, which really just threw a wrench in everything, right? Then you had,
So if we were to stop and say, because you kept asking questions, so I thought you wanted me to give you more. But if it was only interest rates, like we are financially conservative,
yep,
right? We want to move, but we're financially conservative and responsible over here. And until the interest rates go down, we don't want to be overpaying for a house and having a larger payment than our friends that are going to buy in March, April, or May. Like, it doesn't make sense because the interest rates are high.
got it. So let's pretend there's no husband involved, okay? So perfect. If I can solve that one problem right now, Tanya, with the interest rates or the payment being higher, would there be anything else?
No, David, but like, how can you solve the problem
Perfect.
of interest rates?
Absolutely. There's a few ways we can do that. We have some different lenders we work with that have different rates available. We can first have you start by talking to them. And the second thing is, have you heard of a rate buy down option?
No, what is that?
So, okay, well, that's when we go in and we have an opportunity to buy down the rate, either for money that you invest or for money that comes from the proceeds of the sale, the closing. So there's options here is my point. So that's why I mentioned, if we can solve that problem, is that going to make you feel more comfortable going forward if that payment makes sense?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, a high interest rate means a higher payment. And I just, can't see myself paying, too much for a house when I would rather just wait.
100%. I agree with you. Listen, I'm with you on this one, to be honest with you. The challenge though is I don't have a crystal ball. I have no idea what rates are going to do. To be honest, I don't think anybody does. So do you still need the 4th bedroom now?
I do.
Okay. And is that going to, are you intending for that to change or no?
No, I mean, I'm working from home. We need a little bit more space. We need a 4th bedroom.
Absolutely. So let's do this, before we completely give up, why don't we have you talk to our lender? He's got some different options. And after you talk to him, and if it makes sense, then we can find you the right property, and then, we'll just look at the options. Is that something you'd like to do?
Sure.
Okay, good. And that's it. I mean, it doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. Right.
Okay.
I'm not gonna convince somebody to buy a house and pay more than they want.
Yeah, you actually have a really good point. I was working with one of my coaching clients yesterday, and they kept saying they wanted to wait. And she's like, they don't have to buy. How do I convince them to buy? I'm like, if they don't have to buy, you ain't convincing them to buy. You just need to present the information. We can't force someone into buying or selling.
Yeah, we can only motivate people that are motivated. If somebody's just not motivated, then there's nothing we can do about it, right?
Yeah.
So again, I want you to think about what I had you write down earlier. Your greeting, your fact finding. We're going to come up with all the information we can, okay, about fact finding, and then we're gonna handle that in the demonstration. So for Tanya, I know we got to get some more options for her because the payment's too high. Because in reality, who cares about what the interest rate is? What's really important is the payment, right? And I could have said that to her, but that's what it really comes down to. So I want you guys to understand this framework when you go into these conversations with people, because who says interest rates are going to come down? Does anybody here on this call know interest rates are going to come down? Or if they do come down, what do you think? What's going to happen with home prices? Inventory is still low. Yeah, so I mean, we gotta help these guys understand that. I wish I knew, but I don't have a crystal ball. But you still need 4 bedrooms, right? Like, what's going to happen if we don't get those 4 bedrooms?
So you actually bring up he's at the top of our organization, and it was all the things you need to do in the shifting market. And one is You need to be an expert in the financing options today. Okay. What that means is if every one of you has not met with your lender, you need to call your lender. And if you need to find a lender, message me and I'll tell you how to find a local lender. But you need to bring the lenders to your open houses, have the lenders on your calls. Your lenders need to be your best friend. You need to sit with them and ask them what the option is. And then you need to be getting your people in front of lenders, because we can't answer the questions that they need about their payment and those kinds of things offhand. That's a lender's job.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, just come into it with tools. Like I said in the beginning, you know, I've got some fancy scripting that I can use and stuff. Don't get me wrong, but this stuff doesn't have to be complicated. You just can ask questions and come up with solutions to the questions, you know, and some people are going to give you a little resistance, and then you know what you're dealing with. Because if they're going to give you resistance on asking a few questions, you got to remember, you got to go through this whole 60-day process with them of having them go through a home inspection, go through appraisal, go through all the challenges, go through the remorse, go through their friends telling them, oh my God, you're overpaying, interest rates are too high, and blah, blah, blah. So this is telling you right in this process what you're going to be dealing with going forward. So I'm going to tell you, no one, in my opinion, I do not want to work with every person. I'm looking for the people that I know I can help, the people that are motivated, and the people that are going to get to the finish line, because there's nothing worse than wasting time with someone and it doesn't turn into anything, because we don't always think about all the time when I'm with you, then all the time I'm away from all the other people I could be with.
Well, and the other thing is, you know, working with these people, oh God, I just lost my train of thought. You know, I mean, if you're not asking the right, oh, that's what I was gonna say. If you don't have the courage to ask all of these questions in your script, your fact-finding questionnaire, your buyer survey, whatever it is, how are you going to be able to negotiate on their behalf? Once you get the listing or once you get the buyer in, and now you need to negotiate with a bulldog on the other side, a listing agent. If you can't ask these questions competently, then you're not going to be able to represent them the way they need you to represent them.
I'll share a quick story, and then we'll jump into another objection if that's okay. So I met with a couple. They were older. They were in their early 70s. They owned a 3-family. They'd owned their whole life. They owned it for like 40 years. It was paid off. They loved it. You could see all the pride of ownership everywhere. It was an amazing property. They were trying to sell for sale by owner. I called them a few times, finally got the listing, met with them. And when I was going through the consultation, I was asking the questions. And I asked, so, you know, why are you guys selling? Well, we want to get to Florida. Great. What's important about getting to Florida? Well, you know, it's nice weather. We want to get away from the snow. Okay, good. Tell me more. Well, you know, it's just, you know, the weather's, and you could see the husband was John, he was starting to get a little agitated, right? And he's like, but you know, Sue, the wife was loving it. She was answering the, yeah, you know, because we just want to get away from the snow. And, you know, I don't want John shoveling snow anymore. And we don't want to deal with the heat and all this other stuff. And I said, okay, great. And you could tell John was like done. And I said, so let me ask you this. How is that going to make you feel when you get to Florida? And Sue said, oh my God, I'd feel amazing because John had a mild heart attack last year when he was shoveling snow. And John looked at her like he was going to kill her. Okay. And we ended the car, and I wrote all this down. So now the house goes on the market, okay, for $350. This is a long time ago. That house right now is probably worth double that. But this is 2010, 11. So anyway, the house goes on the market, $350. We're not getting offers. We got a ton of showings, no offers. A month and a half into it, we get an offer of $330. Okay, and I'm ecstatic. Like, you know, you realtors, right? You get, oh my gosh, we finally got a great offer. I call up, I talk to them, and they're like upset. Like, we're not doing anything. I'm like, well, hold on. What do you mean? She's like, nothing. No. I'm like, well, at least give them a counter. We're not countering that. That they offended us, like full price or nothing. So I'm like, Sue, John, like, they're like, listen, get us full price. You told us this, you told us that, blah, blah, blah. It's okay, great. So nothing, I'm not getting anywhere. We go a week, we're stuck. So finally, I'm in my office with my assistant, Lisa, and I'm looking at the file, and I pull out the note, and I see the little note I made about John having a mild heart attack, shoveling snow. So I call the agent, they're still interested. I call Sue, and all I had to do is say, Sue, hey, listen, I just wanted to let you know the other people are still interested. And, you know, I know you mentioned at our meeting that you didn't want John shoveling snow this year. And, we're going into September. Before you know it, there's going to be snow here. We've had no other offers. We've had a ton of showings. Are you sure you don't want to offer to split the difference? She paused and she said, let me get back to you. And within 10 minutes, she got back to me and was like, see if they'll split the difference. So the moral of the story is, all I had to do was remind them of why they were really selling the house. Their whole pride of ownership, all that stuff had got in the way of the real reason why they were selling, because of John was being a stubborn mule, and she knew he was going to go out there and shovel snow and potentially die if they didn't get away from that house, because he didn't want to pay to have anything done. Right? So as soon as I was able to remind her, that's when the deal got done. So in a way, I may have saved that guy's life. Who knows? So I really want you to understand that the significance of that story. I hope that helps you understand why it's important that we will dig deep and we will continue asking those questions, so that we really understand why people are doing what they're doing, because they don't always tell you. They won't tell you unless you keep asking. So now, if I hadn't asked that question, what would have happened? The deal would have fallen apart. The listing would have probably expired, and who knows? Tanya, back to you.
Love it. Thank you. So we have a couple questions right here. What is your objection about inventory? And then Charlotte has one about people are waiting to see if they're going to be laid off. They're waiting on their bonuses. And then she also has people asking to drop her commission already, sellers.
Yeah, so let me look at the chat. So are these in the chat?
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is, what was the first one? Tell me the first one again. Motivation? No, not motivation. Get in now before more refinance. I'm just looking through. What was the, because you threw me like 3 of them out,
Waiting
right?
to see if people will be laid off. Others waiting on
All right.
bonuses.
So,
sellers asking
yeah,
to drop
so
their
if somebody's
commission.
waiting to see if they're going to get laid off, there's nothing to handle, right? I mean, what am I going to say? Well, let's buy anyway. Don't worry about it. Give me a high five, 10x. No, I'm gonna go with the flow, right? Like, how do I handle that? Talk to their boss, right? I mean, sometimes we gotta think, like, not every person's a real buyer. See, here's the challenge, and some of you aren't gonna like when I say, is when you only have 1 or 2 buyers or people you're dealing with, then these are issues. But when you're dealing with 30, 40, 50 people, you're going to be super selective in who you're dealing with, because you're going to be like, okay, that person's, they're dealing with layoff. Got it. I'll check back with them in a couple months to see how that went for them. Right. So,
Yeah.
okay, what was the other one? Because there's nothing to handle there. I mean, they need to do what they need to do and make sure they don't get laid off, because I'm not going to put them in a house if they're going to put themselves in a financial position, right? In a bad space.
What other objections do you guys have?
I think you had mentioned a couple others that were in there.
Let's see. We have
Commission is a real objection. Yeah, that's a real objection, right? So in the absence of commission, in the absence of value, then price becomes an objection. So we actually teach people how to get paid more for what they do than all the other real estate agents. Like, how do you show up and you get more than the other three realtors that they met with? Is you need to be so sold on yourself, in your product, in your service, in your company, that the client gets sold. And they need to believe in you. And they need to believe that if they work with you, it's going to be the best situation for them. And then they're not going to care about commission. And when you use a net sheet and you can show them on the net sheet that, hey, based on our commission, this is the number you're going to walk away with. Does that number work for you? Absolutely. Great. Then let's go. Let's roll. What are we waiting for, right? Let's get this house on the market. But when people aren't sold, when people think, okay, we're all just a commodity. I can hire Tanya, I can hire David, I can hire Michelle, I can hire Diana, John, Jonas, then yeah, that's going to be an issue. They think we're all exactly the same. They all do the same thing. They all throw the house on the MLS, take professional photos, do a virtual tour, right? Do drone footage, Matterport, all the stuff we talk about. See, that's why I'm challenging you guys to have different conversations with people. Like, find out that John had a heart attack last year, which is why they're really selling the house. Right? Or find out, you know, there's a financial hardship and they can't afford the house anymore.
And every one of you guys has a script book that I've sent you. And there's a buyer script, buyer questionnaire. So gives you, you know, the framework.
Yeah, I don't even, like, it's funny because you and I had this dialogue when you messaged me about doing this. I'm like, I don't really have any scripts for people. Like, I know I practiced scripts my whole career when I was a Keller Williams trainer. I mean, we would give people, hand them the script, and for some it would work and others it wouldn't. But what I'm teaching you to do now is just have conversations with people, be present with people, have you know, and just be a human being. Like, I'm a human, like, you're in front of another human being. What problem do they have that you can solve right now? Like, you probably wouldn't even believe, like, this is what I learned from Grant Cardone's crew, right? Like that's what they do. They solve problems. And the only way I know if you have a problem is I have to ask a lot of questions. And sometimes the questions can get a little, for some people, but I mean, you got to know when to shut it off, right? At some point, you know when to shut it off and you say, okay, do I have enough information? And then you have to make a decision. Do I want to move forward with this person? Right? So now if you're a for sale by, I mean, I don't know, do you have any other like I'm trying to think, like, you want to hear a greeting? Like a greeting?
Yeah, I was gonna say, when you went back to the greeting, what kind of greeting? If somebody got a referral or a lead, and I know they're different, greetings would be great.
Yes. So if for instance, if I'm calling somebody, I mean, a referral's, I don't know if it's going to be, I think it should go pretty easy unless, you know, hopefully it would go easy for you. But yeah. Hey, my name's David. I'm calling you from eXp Realty. The reason for my call is John had given me your name and number, and, you know, that's it. Hey, you know, what can I do to help you? Like, what information can I get you? Like, that's it. People are looking for information, right? So a strong greeting we use is, hi, my name is, the reason for my call, and then a claim. Okay. Those three things: name, reason for the call, claim. So we'll use it on a for sale by owner. That might be a little bit more, you know, a little more friction, right? So hi, Tanya, this is David Hill calling from eXp. The reason for my call today, you have a house for sale by owner right in my coverage area. And to be sure I'm not wasting your time, Tanya, have you already accepted an offer on that property?
I have not.
Okay, excellent. What I'd like to do is show you exactly how we can sell the property and still get you what you need in your pocket at the end of the day. Is that something you're open to?
I mean, I want to try to sell it myself a little bit, and then I'll let you know if I need a realtor.
Absolutely, 100%. How long do you plan on going before you'd be open to that?
Try another 30 days or so.
Okay, I mean, I'll certainly give you a call back in 30 days if that's what you want me to do. I'm just curious, so what's important about that, about doing it yourself?
I mean, I want to save money,
Yeah, 100%. So again, if I was able to make the money the same, meaning you're not only not saving money, but I'm sorry, not losing money, but you're making a little bit more money, would you then explore what we do?
Yeah, I mean, if you could do it. I've
100%.
had so many realtors call me and say the same thing. What makes you different?
Well, the fact that we've done it for a lot of others, and I can send you testimonials as well as examples, evidence of other homes like yours that we sold for more. But again, I don't even know if I can do this, so I don't want to make any false promises. The first step would be taking a really quick look at the house. It takes me about 15 minutes and I'll give you an honest answer. And if you don't like my answer, then we can talk again in 30 days. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, so that's having a real conversation with a human being right there.
So what about, we are telling people, if you see a for sale by owner, right? And you stop by and give them your card, you guys should all have cards. I don't know if David feels about this. I know people are all about the e-cards. No, you need to have cards, hand the cards out. If they saw a for sale by owner and they, had the courage to knock on their door, what would the script be there?
Yeah,
you guys should be knocking on every for sale by owner's door.
Yeah, absolutely. It depends if you wanted, I mean, honestly, when we used to do it, I had a rule. This is a rule that my coach gave me. I wasn't allowed to drive by a for sale by owner without knocking on the door.
Yeah.
So I had to stop. I built my business on for sale by owners, and it was sometimes a big pain in the butt, but I did it. And I would just knock. Hi, my name's David Hill. I'm the local realtor. I just wanted to give you my information. I'm in a rush right now, but I'd love to come back at another time when you can show me the house. And that's it. And most times, and sometimes they would say, well, do you want to take a quick look now? Yeah, I guess because I don't want to go running in right now unless I planned it out, because I'm not prepared. I don't know what I'm going into. All I want to do is meet them, give them my card, and then I get the opportunity to follow up. Now, sometimes people will say, well, come in. Well, I was honestly and this is why I leave the car running, leave the car running. So I don't have to come in right now.
Well, what neighborhood are you leaving the car running in?
Well, the neighborhoods that I sell real estate in, I'll leave the door open and the car running so that they know. I don't know what neighborhood you're selling houses in, but it's all good. Yeah, because listen, what are we going to do? Hey, I was driving by. I do business in this area. I saw your sign. I want to make sure you have my information. If you're considering a realtor, are you open to using a realtor? I'm in a rush. I just wanted to give you my card real quick, but we can have another conversation if you want. That's it. I don't want to go in the house right now, personally.
In terms of scripts, would like to know, what is your open house script? So I'm actually sending you guys again a video on how to find open houses with all the EXP icon agents, because a lot of listing agents don't like to hold their houses open. Okay. They need buyers agents and agents to hold them open. Okay. So David, they were to find an open house and they came in. How do you convert open house attendees?
Man, you just impress the heck out of them is what you do. You just be on your game. This was a big lesson for me, Tanya. I used to be the agent that didn't want to do open houses until my coach made me understand that when I'm doing open houses, I'm actually auditioning to be the listing agent for the people that are coming in. And once that clicked, I changed my whole mentality around doing open houses to just the way I carried myself, the way I talked to the people, the way I set up the open house. And Tanya, there was 2 situations, and I didn't start doing this till my last couple of years, actually selling a lot of it. I followed people after the open house. I followed them back to their house to look at their property for a potential listing, and ended up listing both of them.
Yeah, because they usually have something to sell too.
A lot of them
And
do.
I think a good
So,
script that I just heard of was, which home do you own in the neighborhood?
yeah, sure. Love it.
Okay. So, all right, but what would your,
Are you looking to
Well-
buy? I mean, do you also have a home to sell? You know, if you bought this house, do you also have a home to sell? I mean, again, I'm just questions, right?
okay. What else do you guys want to know? We have David for about 15, 14 more minutes. So, and then just, you can come off of your mic. So greeting,
Oh, holidays and
finding-
slow times. Love that. Continue
Okay.
to nurture them.
yes.
Now's a great time because here's what happens this time of year is a lot of the real estate agents now are on cruise control, cruising right through the holidays because their clients are selling them on why they're waiting till after the holiday instead of the real estate agents selling them on why now's a good time to have your home on the market because inventory is low and the buyers that are out this time of year are very serious buyers. And oh, by the way, there's people that need to buy or want to buy for tax benefits before the new year. And there's relocations happening this time of year, job transfers. See, we need to help our clients understand that. So I think now's a great time of year. Will everybody list now? No, absolutely not. So then we go to the fifth step in my sales process, which is what? Do you guys remember?
Follow up.
That's right. Follow up. Like every single thing I'm talking about, you would put in a certain step in the sales process. So I used to be really, really scripted and, you know, and I actually was good at it and I still am in a way, I guess, but I try to just ask a lot of questions. I think it's my coaching, you know, being a coach with Cardone and a coach with Success, as well as a sales trainer. I really do a lot of coaching on the people I meet with, I think. Like Tanya, like the conversation we were having, that would be like a coaching call. It would get uncomfortable and it's supposed to, right? Like if your coach is not pushing you and getting you uncomfortable, then they're not going to help you figure out what's really going on.
How many times, David, would you say it takes for somebody to follow up to close a deal? And with that, the second part, when you answer that is, if I keep calling them and bugging them, like, are people going to hate me? And how would you deal with rejection?
Oh, I love this. I love this. This is one of my favorites. So I want to share with you, I'm going to real quick, I want to share my screen in a minute. Can you let me share my screen, see if I can pull this thing up
Just
quick?
share away.
All right, hold on a second. Let me see if I can do this.
Is this helpful for you guys? Can I get a thumbs up? Is this helpful? Anybody? Helpful? Hurtful? No,
All right, good to hear.
It's gonna hurt your feelings.
Yeah, I can do that for sometimes people like, oh my gosh, this guy's so direct. And that's what, you know, I am, because I don't have time to waste. You know, I did this as a favor for Tanya today. You know,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We just did a virtual event and everybody in our event paid $2,500 for a 2-day virtual workshop with us. You know, my clients pay me $500 to coach with me for one session. It's $2,000 a month. Because I give people real information. There's no time to waste. So hold on a second. Let me give you, I just want to go through this with you. This is super fun. Here are the hold on, let me see. Let me share my screen. We're gonna go through this super quick, all right? Slideshow, next slide. All right. This one right here. All right, so let's talk about mistakes with follow-up, which is what we're talking about right now. Number one, never make the call. Only 48% of salespeople ever even make the first call. That's insane, right? Meaning somebody reaches out to you and only 1 out of 2 will even call them back. Like I've met with sellers that said, you know what, I actually called other realtors, they didn't call me back, we're just gonna hire you. Okay, number 2, to Tanya's question, frequency leads to greatness. Okay, 5 to 12. Tanya, the answer, 5 to 12. If you're not going to call 5 to 12 times, and it's a combination call, SMS message, email, door knock, postcard sent, handwritten letter, emojis. I mean, we do everything. Okay. We send emojis. We do everything. Okay. 5 to 12. No consistency. It means we don't have a consistent follow-up process. It's just random. Hey, I put their name on a Post-it note and I lost the Post-it note. I forgot that person even existed. Right? Another mistake, waiting too long to follow up. Somebody tells you, yeah, I'm going to buy a house in 4 months. You call back in 3 months, they already bought a house. Okay, another mistake, lack of variety of reasons. This is what you were just talking about, Tanya, right? Here's what people do. Hey, I'm just following up. Call 2. Hey, it's Dave again, just following up. Call 3. Hey, it's Dave. I'm following up. Hey, Tanya, it's Dave. I'm following up. No, you got to have different reasons for calling. Hey, I'm giving you a call. I'm following up on our conversation from before. Hey, I was giving you a call today because the interest rates, it looks like they're going up a little bit more. Have you seen that? Hey, I'm calling you. I was driving through the neighborhood. I saw this house. It reminded me of the house you're looking for. Are you still in the market to buy? Hey, I was giving you a call because this lender we're doing business with has a few special programs. Hey, I was giving you a call because, right? Every time there's a different reason to call. Not, hey, I'm just giving you a follow-up, right? You got to have lack of a variety of reasons to call. No clear purpose for the call. When I'm calling people, there's an intention. I'm not calling just to follow up. I'm calling because I want to get them to an appointment. I want to get them to a buyer seminar or a seller seminar. There's an intention behind the call. Okay, next one, not leaving messages. If you're not leaving messages, you're missing it. Don't even worry if they call you back. You want them to hear your voice, your persistence. That's why
I love that. A lot of people say never leave a message. I'm like, why? I've had people actually call me back. You're already there. Why wouldn't you?
They will call you back, Tanya. Okay. Not collecting data for future sales. Anytime you talk to somebody, write down everything they told you and then put it in your CRM. Okay. Not asking for referrals. Every time I've had for sale by owners tell me I'm all set. And I'd say, well, who else do you know that's looking for real estate? Actually, my cousin is thinking about selling and he does want to use a realtor. And give me the phone number. Okay, always ask. It takes 3 seconds to ask for a referral. Who else do you know that's thinking about buying or selling I can call today? That's it. Okay, not organized. You're not using a CRM. Those are your big follow-up mistakes, all right? I just wanted to share that with you guys quick because that is big. Find that helpful, Tanya?
I love it. And the thing is, you guys, you will follow up when you have somebody that you know buy a house from someone else and you like didn't follow up with them for 3 months and you're like, what, holy crap. And we've all been there. All been there.
Now, Tanya, everybody here is with Thrive, correct? We're part of our group, our community.
Everybody is with Thrive. Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, hey, partners, I'm part of your community. So Tanya asked me to do something like this. I'm always going to jump on with Tanya. She's an absolute rock star. So I just appreciate you guys being part of the group. I'm trying to think if there's no events coming up in the short-term future, but I'm guessing at the next event, you probably do like a meetup or something, Tanya, right?
Yeah, we actually, the 23rd and 24th of January, we're working on that date. If we don't do it, then we'll push it to February. But David, you had talked about coming and being a speaker, and we're basically going to have a Thrive event where we're going to be all gathering together.
That'd be amazing. Yeah, if you do, let me know. I'm happy to come. I could even do a workshop based on the things we just talked about. We have a whole presentation. What I wanted to say is we have a membership community and we meet daily, Monday through Friday. And these are the things we talk about. We practice, we role play, we share scripts, you find role play partners, people that are committed.
Committed to listings. Yeah, your people are committed to getting listings.
Yeah, we do focus mostly on listings, but not everybody. I mean, we do have agents now that are focusing on buyers because we do have buyers agents. So I am a listing. My philosophy is get the listings and everything else works out. But we do have people that do buyers. So, but what I want to let you know is for Thrive members, we have a special. So I don't know if you guys know anybody else that's looking to join the community, but it's $197 a month by month. You get access to the community, to daily calls. There's a monthly call. There's also an online training platform with all of our scripts and all of our word tracks and the things I just used with you. And for Thrive, it's only $99 a month. So if you guys are interested, I had my assistant put that in the chat, so you guys could use that. Yeah, there's a discount code to get it for $99. And also right now, what we're doing is we're throwing in the sales execution workshop recordings. So the recordings that bring you through all 5 of those steps. Now, if you took the workshop, you would have paid $2,500 for it, but we're giving you the full recording package. So it's like you can just watch it and like you're taking the full workshop. And we're going to just include that today for people that take action today and sign up. So you get it for $99 into our community. You'll be with us Monday morning training, and you'll get the workshop right away.
So basically you're saying if they're going to be with you, they're not going to be watching recordings. They're going to get coaching.
Yeah, they're going to get coaching every day. We do a daily huddle. We're about once in January, we're actually launching a second call. So there's going to be 2 calls every day at 9 and then a second call at 12 because we're partnering with some of our people on the West Coast.
You guys, I did
really
it with David, and what I loved about it, there's a lot of listing agents in there, a lot of top producers. And what's great for $99, don't go to Starbucks. Like if you are committed, right, to going out and prospecting and working listings, it's good because you have people showing up. It's every single day. You guys are talking about your wins. You're talking about your listings. Like it's a great program for people that are really wanting to go to the next level fast.
Yeah, and it's super affordable. Even at $197, I mean, it's super affordable. The people that do it love it. It's a community. But like I said, for Thrive, Tanya, like I told you, we made it on the site. You can use the code Thrive99 and you can get it for $99. So, you know, if you want the workshop recordings, you do that. You take action now, you get the workshop recordings as well.
Love it. One last thing we have, like, if you can answer this in 1 minute, because you have
Sure.
1 minute.
Yeah.
Charlotte was saying she has people that say, if I'm going to sell now with inventory so low, I don't want to be in limbo because my house isn't sold.
Yeah, absolutely. So create options for them. So you need to, they need to have options, right? So are you open to rent, short-term rental? No. Do you have an in-law you can stay with? No. Okay, what other options do you have? None. Okay, then I guess we had to find you a house first. I mean, I think sometimes, like, we got to simplify life sometimes. Like, there's no objection handler for, like, I don't want to be homeless. Like, we just give options. Like, here's A, B, C. Which of those is going to work for you? If none of them work, then we got to find them a home or not. You know what I mean? Like, this is not, like I said in the beginning, this is not complicated stuff we're doing here. We are making it more complicated than it has to be by trying to think through things. Like, if there's one thing I want you to take from this today, you're just a human being with another human being, helping them solve their problems. Become a problem solver. You see this thing on my vest right here? It says R Realtor. Okay, that should say P for problem solver. The people that make the most money in this industry are the ones that can solve the problems for people. That's it. That's a problem. Okay, I don't know where I'm going to go if I sell. Perfect. Here's option A, B, C. Which of those works best? A, great. Then let's set you up for short-term rental. If we get the offer you love, then we're ready to go. Oh, I hope that helps, Tanya.
You know what? You've been amazing. Thank you so much. You guys, I think the biggest takeaway, I hope that you see, that it doesn't have to be scary, and you don't have to have a degree in scripting, and you don't have to manipulate people to get them to buy or sell. You are dealing with people's biggest assets. You're dealing with their life. You're dealing with divorce. You're dealing with babies. You're dealing with job losses. You're dealing with life. And we just need to say, if this were my mom or dad or brother or sister or kid, how would I want to be treated? Right. And not forcing them into something is going to put them in a create a financial strain, but you got to love on them, love on them, love on them.
The other thing I want you guys to, I'm going to leave you with is you guys need to invest in yourself. And when you invest in yourself, then other people will invest in you. And I promise you on that. Okay, this year for me, I invested $25,000 to become a licensee. And I've invested $65,000 in personal development. I've never spent close to that. And this is the most money I've ever made in my life. Why? Because I've invested in myself and then other people will invest in me. So I just challenge you guys, whatever that investment looks like, just make some investments into yourself. And then when you show up, your people will invest in you because people buy the same way you do.
And you attract who you are.
That's
So
right.
up level. If you think you're a hot mess, then try to not be
So
such a mess.
take advantage of the offer we put out there for you. Jump in the workshop, hang out with us, and you'll get wherever you want to go. I promise.
Let me
you
ask
that.
you a question. Did they have to sign a contract or is it month to month? They can hop in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. What does that look like?
Month to month. It's month to month. And it includes Cardone University, by the way. Cardone University costs $97 a month itself. So this is only special for you guys in Thrive. You're essentially getting it for free.
All right, you guys, make sure you guys follow David on social media as well. David, thank you.
Please, Facebook, David I. Hill. So for Facebook, if you would, that'd be awesome. We do a lot on Facebook too. So Instagram, David I. Hill. All right, guys, appreciate you all. Have a great rest of your day. Have a phenomenal weekend. If I can help you in any way, let me know. Tanya, appreciate you. Thank you as always, okay?
Thanks, David. Have a good
All
day.
right, bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.